Oh, sorry, that was a little difficulty. So now I'm live. I'm just telling everyone that I'm just gonna wait until you guys hear. Uh, yeah, it's my fault. Just gonna tell everyone there was a little mistake. It was an error just now. Yep. All right. Sorry. Anyone here right now? Can you tell me if this is working? Because I made a mistake. I forgot to turn on my view cam just now. So I need to know. Yay, okay, that's good. Um, at least now I know people are here. Um, so let me just look at all the questions you guys have first. And let me see. Okay, so here are the questions. So since you are here, I'm just gonna answer your question first. How to certain artists, illustrator finding their clients, either brands or single customers? Um, my question for you right now is, how do you approach people first? Do you actually just wait for use Instagram to post photos and hope people to approach you? Or what is your approach when you first think that this is a potential person that might want to work with you? What will you usually do before I give you the answer? Because I think that there is a problem with a lot of artists, and I don't think that they actually know how to market themselves. So let me know. I will wait for you for your answers while we still wait for other people to join. And you can hear me, right? She don't know how to do it other than asking them if they want to. So my advice for you is to do this. First of all, you have to create a template of an email saying that who you are, and then sort of like have a brief paragraph saying that why do you want to work with them, and then make sure that you have a portfolio ready. So I will recommend you to have a PDF file with no more than 10 pages. Basically, one is with your bio, who you are, and then the next few pages will be what you do, some of your best works from your portfolio. Don't make more than 10 pages. And basically, for the first 2 pages of your portfolio, make sure that you have your best works or what you really want them to see. So, for example, your best works are the geometric shape figures. So make sure that you put that in the first 2 pages. And at the same time, in the about page, who you are, I will also recommend you to actually create an illustration version of yourself in that style so that people will know. And based on the company you approach, you should think about what kind of projects you want to work with them. And if that's the case, maybe you can just pitch a general idea in the email. Say, oh, this, I think I think this will be a really good project if we do this. And I recommend that you can, in the email, say, sometimes if you could be contacting the social media person. And then in that case, you can just say, can you actually connect me to your marketing department, so that we can talk about this kind of projects. So if the social media person is going to reply you, they will most likely going to connect you to the right people. For yourself, you should also be doing a lot of research based based on your area where you live. You need to think about the PR company. PR company has a lot of power to hire illustrators for different jobs. So in this case, I would recommend you to actually do some research, have a list of PR companies if you have never been to events or invited by the PR people, and then just contact them and say, "Hey, I'm an illustrator. I would want to see if your brands are looking for any illustrators for any projects that you guys are working on to promote certain product." In this case, they will probably connect you to the right people as well. So those are the things that you need to do. And if you have friends, which is very important as well, talk to your friends and see if they have any connections to any brands or companies. Do not limit yourself to just fashion brands. Two of the biggest uh, industries that have a lot of money that hire illustrators are alcohol and makeup, skincare. So you should be looking at those as well. And in this case, that I will do another recommendation for whoever's watching this. You should start building a portfolio on alcohol bottles, and then also maybe makeup looks or makeup products. These two markets have so much money, and they don't mind to spend a lot of money to commission illustrators to do some really interesting things. For example, Absolute Vodka, they constantly support the art industry. I know there's another tequila brand that actually will hire designer brands to decorate their special editions bottles. So I know alcohol might not be something that you like, but they do have money and they're willing to fork the money to support artists to do different things. So those are the best way to, like, for you to approach clients. Does that answer your question? And yeah, there is no way you can guarantee to get a job right away. You probably have to send a lot of emails or talk to different PR people before they say, okay, yeah, sure. Like, I need an illustrator right now. So do not be afraid to contact people. Do not feel bad not getting reply, because this is normal. Because sometimes the brands will be like, "Oh yeah, our campaign right now is not about illustration; it's about other things." So, but we'll keep you in mind. So make sure that at least your deck is on the table. Then that will actually help you to get jobs in the future. And also remember that people do move from company to company. So if you can connect to one person, if they move to another company, first of all, they will leave that deck in the old company, but they will also bring your deck to the new company. So this is how you actually start to create your network. Um, I think it's very important for you to actually start to think about how to market yourself, which I think artists are not really good at doing that. And that's why a lot of artists continue to ask me, like, why am I not getting noticed? It's because you guys don't really know how to market yourself. So that is another question I will go over. So another question that I got, it's about how to create a mailing list when you have nothing. So, first of all, if you are at my online store, I will say you can ask me to give you a promo code, and then you can start to email your friends and just say, hey, I'm building my mailing list right now so that I can keep you posted on gallery shows or like new products or new whatever you're doing or new projects. So if you want to be on the list, please provide me with your email and then I'll add you there. And then in the next, when I send the email blast, I will give you a certain discount code so that you can get my print for cheaper price. So that is a really good way to go. Another way you should do is start to just basically start talking to people, and that is the best way you can get people to actually engage with you. um of course, if you do have a website, which I highly recommend you guys to do it, then you can have a section. It's like, if you want more information about my upcoming shows or upcoming projects, then make sure that you leave your email. So most likely people will want to actually like subscribe because they want to, if they love your work, they want to know what you're doing. And maybe every month, which I know some artists do that. So this is also really important for you. Every month, send an email, monthly newsletter, and tell the artists, like tell your followers what you're up to. This will actually force you to create artworks every month because you do have some new artworks you want to show, or maybe they are recognized by some other like brands and companies. So you want people to know, oh, my works, I'm working, I'm actually getting commissions. Or if you do get private commissions, you can ask the persons like, do you mind if I put this in my newsletter, because I can promote myself as a portrait artist as well. So those are the things that you should be doing. As for how you can add people to your mailing list, start with your family, start with your friends, and then start to talk to email people and say, hey, I'm building a mailing list. Do you want to be on it? If you do, I will give you a special discount for the online store or some other things. I don't know. Some artists here might have a course they want to provide. Then you can just say, I will give you a discount if you join my mailing list for my online course. So I hope that answer your question. Um, so this is a question that constantly gets is, how do you find your own style? You gotta basically draw every single day. This is a question that I get asked all the time, and then I also ask different illustrators about that. First of all, you should start looking at illustrations that you like or illustrators that you like. You look at their style and then start to mimic their style and see if you're comfortable with drawing in this style. If not, move on to next. And afterwards, once you're comfortable with it, you need to start thinking about how to add a different flair. One of the advice is for you to actually look at an other artist's work and see if there are any elements from that artist you can use and put it in your artwork. And then you start to combine that element to your existing style. And then basically what happens is every few months you can start to add more elements to your style to a point that you feel like, okay, I am very comfortable with this. I like this style. Let's do it. So I think this is what you need to do. There is no way you can define your style right away. And at the same time, I can tell you that you will evolve your style. So when people ask you, can you define your illustration style? It's more like, can you define your illustration right as of this moment? Because 3 months later, I can guarantee that some other things may happen and you might change your style a lot. So I hope that helps. Um, if I want to start digital drawing, what's the best to start with? I know that some people start. Most of the people start with Procreate if you have an iPad. If not, then you can. If you use Android, then you can start with Sketch. Highly recommend you to go on YouTube and look for some digital illustration editorial. no tutorials, so that you know exactly how to draw and you learn from those people. Start with simple because there's a lot of beginners guide, and then I also know that some people love to trace photos. Not highly recommended, but then if you want to learn how to use that app, then I think that is a really good way to go. And once you know exactly how to start, like how to use that app, then you can start to learn some advanced features of the app, and you can start to look for different digital artists and then start to create illustrations on your own. Don't highly recommend you to copy people's work. Um, and as I said, photos, if you basically just outline photos, there is not much value to it because anyone can do it. They don't need any art skills. So you should think about how you want to present yourself to the illustration world, because there are a lot of people tracing artwork, and that's when everyone is fighting for the same job. And ultimately, the person who is asking for the lowest will get the job, and your style will not. And there's basically no style to your work. So make sure that you start to like think about how to learn from the basic and then learn from the experts. And if you want, I know that there's some schools that actually provide digital art courses as well, so you can actually learn from them. Um, as a beginner in fashion illustration, what's the best way to create some presence online? So this is something that I really wish you guys to listen carefully, because this is part of marketing yourself. You need to start looking at other people's account if you use Instagram and start to engage with them. Do not wait for them to engage with you. Look for some accounts that you like, maybe some influencers, some smaller companies, some smaller brands, independent designers, and start to engage with them. Engage as in not just like you actually leave a comment. If you go on Twitter, reply them. You start to retweet the stuff. You need to start to actually show that you're interested in their products. And then they probably, if you're persistent, if you constantly actually send them like messages, like them, they probably will actually go to your account and look at your works. There is no fast like shortcut to say I want to get work right away. I want to be famous. You need to do your groundwork. Doing a If you do have a website, doing a website is actually really good because that will give you a section called a blog. So I will recommend you to actually have the blog section to talk about what's your latest project, what's your latest artwork. Does not only help you to like force you to create artworks, but it will also help with the Google ranking, because if you constantly update the website, your SEO will constantly go up, and Google will like, oh yeah, I like this website because they constantly update the website, the blogs. So I should put that to a higher page, and that will actually help you to be noticed by a bigger audience. So, and it's also a really good way to actually send this as your portfolio as well. So, I do highly recommend you guys to actually do this. Create a website. You can do it for free. Like there's some I think WordPress.com has a free section. The basic one is free of charge. So you can start working on it. And later on, if you feel like you want to be more advanced, then absolutely, then try to create pay for a monthly subscription fee. Or if you're really good, then you can host it on a server with WordPress. I do know how to work with WordPress, so if you guys have any questions, you guys can ask me, but that will be more like for the Patreon group. Like I'll be able to help you on that. So I hope that also helps. Let me see what other questions. How to I get to start. So I think there are not a lot of questions this time. Any questions here so far you want to ask me? Because I'm here to give you the Q&A. Then once you feel more comfortable, you can switch more profession to. Yep. I do agree on that. So start with basic, and then Procreate is also it's really good because you can use the free tools, and then later on, if you want to be more advanced, professional, you can actually buy some professional brushes as well from different companies and artists. So anyway, um, any questions so far before we move on to the next section, which I'm going to talk about the open call. I want to give you guys some time because I'm basically here to help since you guys want to know the business side of fashion illustration. Um, I will have a video coming out that I think you guys should share and then maybe show it to your potential clients. It's basically on how to work with illustrators because I realized that whenever I get a project, I always get certain uh, errors from the clients, and this is the time that you should share and let people let them know how to work with you guys. Oh, Anna, I talk about the email blast list. So I'm going to say it again. First of all, you should ask your friends and family and see if you can put them on your mailing list. And then afterwards, you can use social media and start asking people if you want to be a mailing list on my mailing list, then make sure that you give me your email address. You can DM me your email address. And then in return, you will get a discount code or some special offers later on from my emails. So, Anna, since you're in my patron group and you're selling at our online store, so what you can do is send them a code and then just say, "Oh yeah, um, because you value because I value you being part of the mailing list. So here's the discount code. You can use it to buy my print at a certain percent off. And later on, every month, this basically forces you to create illustrations. Every month, you can do a monthly newsletter showing those people what's new. Are you going to have any shows? Are you having any new prints at the store? Or do you have any special projects that are happening right now? So that will help you to engage with the audience. And maybe later on, you can just say, "Oh, I'm doing a meet and greet or I'm doing a workshop." So if you want to join this workshop, you have to be on the mailing list because the mailing list will give you the link to the workshop or a special event or special gallery preview. So I hope, and basically you have to start from there, and then or you can actually talk to like the Patreon group as well if you want just like, hey, I'm building a mailing list, do you want to be part of it? And I do recommend you to actually create a website afterwards because in the website you can actually have a section called mailing list. So join my mailing list to learn the latest news from me, the what gallery shows I'll be doing in the future, etc. So that's something that you should be doing when you are not drawing and you want to make this as your career. I hope that answered the question and any other questions you guys have. Right. Feel free to ask me because afterwards I will be going over the open call and then I will also be reviewing some Instagram accounts if anyone want me to. So it looks like no one. Okay. So let's talk about the open call. Um, how should I say? Some people still don't actually check the open call page and basically do whatever they want. As I said in the YouTube video before, if you don't follow the instructions, that looks like you guys are entering the wrong exam and give me the wrong answers. So how can I put you as one of the final nines? Um, I remember for the Jacquemus one, I said I wanted to be super colorful. I wanted uh, to play with the proportion of the clothing. Um, I mean, whoever actually joined the last YouTube live, you guys did pretty well because you guys actually pretty much followed the guideline. But for a lot of people, I don't see that's happening, and especially the proportion one. I probably have only 3 people max following that, which is fine. I mean, in the end, we are talking about dreamy, colorful vacation. Some people are pretty like the final nine that I have picked. Some of them are pretty are pretty awesome. It puts you into like a fantasy world. Um, love what I see there. It's really colorful. But the rest, I still have someone just randomly put a runway illustration and send it to me with nothing else. Um, I don't really think it's a language barrier because I do make it really simple and clear. So, or else you wouldn't be sending me the illustration because I'm sure that you somehow read the instruction. But the problem is I feel like some artists here are really about themselves, not really about following the guidelines. So when they send me the illustrations, I find them to just like, oh, here's my homework. There you go. I'm not your teacher. And especially when when this open call gives you a chance to actually do a Zoom call with me so I can go over your portfolio and talk about your style and how to build your online presence. You can't just give me a work that is done in 2 to 3 hours without giving any thoughts to it. Um, I don't think that I will be posting everything on Facebook now because I used to post every single entry on Facebook. Um, I just don't think it's fair to do that now because I feel like some people just want to take this opportunity. It's like, oh, I'm going to randomly send you an illustration and you are going to like post them anyway. So this give me the presence. Uh, I'm not going to do that. Unfortunately, you guys, part of the community, actually ruined this privilege. So uh, I don't really know what else to say. I just think that I just hope that from now on, when I give you the description, when I tell you exactly what to do, follow it because just consider me as a professor. I'm telling you that, yes, this is the theme I want. Do not, this is the boundaries. This is a guideline. Just stay within the guideline or stay in the guideline, but at the same time, add something new to the illustration. But don't go and do it your way. And at the same time, this kind of contest is for you to explore your fashion illustration styles. So if you're playing safe, if you give me a trace, like I have seen a few submissions that basically you just trace the photos and then just send it to me, then there is nothing much for me to look at. And as I said, if you don't follow the guidelines, I will say thanks. I'm not going to tell you anything, and I will immediately put it in the not going to consider pile. So I really hope that for the next open call, you guys can actually put some effort in it. And you should think about whenever you enter this kind of open call, you are adding a piece to your portfolio. And whenever I'm doing this kind of open call, I am thinking about editorial. So you can always say once you have entered this open call, you can put it in the editorial section of your portfolio. Or if you're a really, really good portrait artist, you can do that too. I'm not against runway illustration, but give me something new. Give me, what you can do is you can create part of the runway illustration, but not the entire thing, so that you force the viewers to complete the illustration themselves in the brain. Not against it, like close up. If you are you really good at creating textile textures of the clothing, do a close up of that, but make it interesting. If I'm telling you that, oh, the Jacquemus one is all about the scuba diving material, think about how you can make it work. And I think that is something that you guys should consider to do it. I Aside from that, I really don't have any other uh, advice because I really don't know what you guys want. And technically speaking, you guys asked for this topic, and I do it because I think you guys will enjoy it. But I actually don't get a lot of submissions from this open call. So, which give me the same question is, what does this community want? What do you guys want from me? Um, and tagging me with non-related fashion illustration is not going to help me. Like it's not going to help you to put yourself on the feed. So you guys have to talk to me more and let me know exactly what you want so that I can create the right thing for you guys. So I hope this is something that will benefit you for the future open calls. Any questions though, like you can ask me about the call stuff, or in general, what other things that you want me to do. Like this is a Q&A, and I just want to answer as many questions as possible. At the same time, if you guys want me to review your Instagram account, you can actually leave a comment here, and so that I can check out the Instagram. I can check out your Instagram and give you the instant review right now. Let me see if there's anything happening. Any questions? Any comments? I feel like I'm just talking to myself today. Also, Met Gala is coming up, so I do plan to do some Met Gala features soon. So make sure that you guys get ready for the first Monday of May. Uh, I'm not gonna do 48 hours. I probably don't gonna do 24 hours. Within 24 hours, I will repost as many Met Gala stories as possible and also feature some amazing red carpet looks on the feed. So everyone has a chance to do that. So questions, any questions, or everyone just want me to play nothing, to do nothing. It's good. If no one asks me questions, that means everyone is an expert. Or let me ask you, what other things you guys want me to do next? Because I am still learning of what you guys want from me. Look so quiet. Just curious, we did a lot of menswear looks. I felt like all I saw is the pink outfit from um a lot of pink outfits, but a lot of the green and blue outfits as well. I There is one particular look with the green and blue outfit. So take a look at that. That is basically what I see the most on from the entries. Just curious, there are a lot, not a lot of people doing menswear though. So that's another thing. If a collection has menswear, if you do it, you might actually score bonus point because not a lot of people are willing to do menswear. The pink one is a popular piece, but the pink one is always it's also the dangerous piece because many people are planning to do it, and in the end, some of them are just. And yes, as I said, some actually just gave me a runway illustration of that pink look. So if you are planning to illustrate an iconic look from the collection, you need to work extra hard. Instead of doing 100%, you have to do 200%. Um, I remember I was talking to Zoe on Instagram Live the other day. Zoe said that I should create a more illustration friendly collection. I don't know if this is what you guys want. So, do you guys want a more basic collection um like the US brands because they are more they're not a lot of crazy silhouettes, they're pretty straightforward. Do you guys want me to do that or you want me to keep going with um collections like McQueen, Valentino, Prada, those brands? So this is also something that for you guys to tell me because at one point I really don't know what exactly you guys want from me. Like whenever you guys have requests, I do it, but then when I ask, it looks like everyone's trying to get quiet. This is why it's giving me a headache sometimes. Let me see if there's any. I don't see any. Do you guys have any questions for me? Because I can only do so much alone, talking alone. I know it's only Anna and Min right now, so basically we can do like a free, like a small group chat. Like you can ask me anything. Yeah, Jack was actually pretty fun with the silhouette and stuff. I think it's like a balance of like interesting silhouette and commercial pieces. Um, and one of the things that I also want you guys to do for doing the open call is to actually the read the reviews because sometimes the reviews will tell you what's the inspiration behind this collection. If you know those stuff, it will be easier for you to create an illustration. Uh so you want me to do fast fashion? But fast fashion is another problem though because a lot of illustrators are not liking this idea. Are not liking the fast fashion culture. So we might get a lot of backlash if we do that. Um, but I think what we can do is maybe when H&M do a special collaboration, we can explore that so that you guys will get a lot of exposure when they release the collection. So I can technically work on something like that in the future. Um, Let me see what else. Or do you guys want to take on a challenge to just focus on a menswear brand? Because that could give you guys a lot of practice as well. This will actually help you force yourself to actually create some menswear illustrations. Or another idea that I have in mind is I will give you two collections and you have to make it work. So I need you to, for example, if I'm going to put you in, I can do a complete opposite, like Rick Owen and Gucci. I need you to create an illustration combining two brands. Will that make the will it make the open call more fun? Okay, so Anna has a question. So on my Instagram, I started as an outlet to push myself to draw more. So I have a lot of figure drawing posts. I know some fashion illustrators do that too, but do you think that could be distracting? No, I don't think that is distracting. But you need to strike a good balance, as I was talking, I think last time. You need to let the clients know if Instagram is your main portfolio page, you need to let the client know what is your strength. So clients do not have the tendency to look past the first 15 illustrations, like the first 15 posts. So they scroll. If they like it, they will continue. But if they don't like it, they will move on to another artist. So that is the important part. You should think about how to create your Instagram feed. You can, as I think Samuel was talking about that in the video when I was interviewing Olga, and Samuel actually sent me a clip and saying that you need to cater your followers, you need to cater your clients. So they follow you because they love your work. So what you can do is maybe create some artworks that have figuring drawing, if this is your strength, if you want people to hire you to do that. And then at the same time, maybe you have a few, and then you have another row that have some really polished illustrations. And for that polished illustrations, you can do close up. You can do something else to make it interesting. Uh, and for your stories, you can actually post some work in progress and then put it in the highlight tab. It's like the WIP highlight. And so people can see the way you work. Um, so I think that would make your Instagram really interesting. And if you are using Instagram to actually promote yourself, do more Instagram stories, promote yourself, have a plan of what you want to show to people. Um, sure, it will be really interesting for followers to look at your behind the scene, but at the same time, you need to strike a really good balance of I want you to show you my work as an artist, and then here's a few stories that about me as this is my lifestyle. And you need to also think about, because this is another issue that I'm seeing, is a lot of illustrators also want to be an influencer, and they start to promote other things that are not related to fashion. So you need to think about it. If you want to be a fashion illustrator slash influencer, maybe you can start promoting different art supplies, different brands, clothing, but not so much about other random things that are not related to fashion. And because that I can't really see where you're going at all. So something to consider. You gotta be, again, promote yourself. You gotta be super shameless. You got to do your research, build your foundation. Even though I'm here to support you, you have to figure out. how to take my idea and run because that's the only way you can get more jobs and more recognitions from the industry or the fashion industry. So, okay, that could be interesting. Mixing two brands, maybe even like accessory and clothing. Absolutely. I think that will be a really good, fun thing to do. Maybe I can just do like a Tiffany plus Rick Owen and see how people will make it work style. Because ultimately, Fashion Illustrator is like it's a director, a stylist, because you have to figure out what to actually put on the body, how to make it work, what pose will work for this illustration. You are more than just an artist. You're a photographer, you're a stylist, and you also have to coordinate all the stuff. You create the lights as well. So I think I can definitely think about doing that. Maybe I probably do it maybe during Oka tour. Oka tour will be a pretty good like time to do it. So yeah, any other questions, or if you guys want me to review any Instagram accounts, I am willing to do it. I know there are a few people here, so just wanted to see what you guys want me to do. I am waiting. I have an hour. I don't want you guys to waste time of wasting this opportunity to ask me the like not asking me anything. It's good because we don't have a lot of people, so basically you guys can ask anything you want and you guys will get all the benefits. Don't be shy because shy again, if you're a shy artist, you're not going to get any work. If you don't ask questions, you're not going to get any work. That's pretty straightforward, I'm telling you. And that is why a lot of artists do not get works. And I will also tell you, like people keep asking me how do I choose who to feature on the Instagram account? I honestly, whenever you tag me, I actually look at your illustration, and if I see your style or your illustration is standing out from the crowd, that's when I feature you. Or if there's any special occasions that actually will work with your illustration, that's when I feature you. Um, a lot of artists also have the tendency to do this, which is okay. Obviously, during Fashion Week, a lot of artists will continue to create illustration within that short period of time. But after that, basically, let's just say February and early March, they create, and then they stop, and then they won't have this won't happen until September or like July for the Oak Tour Fashion Week. Within that period of time, it's blank. There's nothing like you guys are not creating anything. If you are serious about this business, if you actually love like this industry, you should be continue creating it instead of just doing the, for example, February, March. That's fall and winter 2022. Instead of just focusing on fall, winter 22, you can go back to the past and look at some of your favorite collections and start to create them. Create some illustrations. Um, this will actually help you to gain exposure. And then also, people remember that you are a fashion illustrator. To me, sometimes I don't even remember some of the people are illustrators because they only pop in and out every now and then. Maybe every 6 months they will create one or two fashion illustrations, and then they will jump off to do other things, and they will start to post pictures of themselves, and that actually confused me. And I will not remember you a fashion illustrator. And if this is you are planning to pitch this your works to fashion brands or companies or PR companies, that is confusing because you don't have a steady track record of showing me that you can draw all the time. Where can we find more contest competition geared towards fashion illustrations? Um, See, this is something that not a lot of organizations are doing it. You probably have to hear like word of mouth. Uh, for example, when I know there's competition, like Swatch was doing it last year, I posted on Patreon right away and let you guys know. We have to keep and look out for that. It's so interesting that no organizations are thinking about um, doing more things for the fashion illustration industry. So what I can really do is keep an eye on it. If you see any, if anyone in the community actually see contests, let us know, and then I will repost it. I remember at the beginning of the pandemic, there were a lot of brands doing different activations to encourage artists to stay at home and create artworks. But it's so funny when the world starts to get back to normal, they drop the artists. They don't really care about the fashion illustration world anymore and start working on their own. And I will say one more thing. If you guys want exposure, if you guys want to like show people who you are, start looking for your local galleries and see if they do any group shows. If they don't do any group shows, pitch them, say, what about if we do a fashion illustration group show? How does that sound? If that's you have that opportunity, if you need help, you can let me know and I will help you to get that done because that is the best way for people to appreciate fashion art. And that is also the best way for you to sell your artworks. So, really think about that. That is a way for you to make money and possibly build the right network in your own city. Um, I don't really think there are any big competitions happening right now, but constantly pitching to brands, but brands always come back to me and say we have to make sure that it's aligned with have to be aligned with the marketing's strategy, um, which is also really interesting talking about aligning with brand strategies. If you have time, if you like to draw accessories and put them in your portfolio because recently I have a major brand contacted me, asked me about illustrators who can draw accessories. And when I look at everyone's portfolio, many of them are just drawing clothing, and that do not fit what they're looking for. So just keep in mind to build on that. So any other questions? Like I'm basically giving you guys everything I know, general information. Oh, if you are in the Patreon group, I will have the next open call topics for you guys to vote on Friday. Uh, it's another fan favorite choices, so I will give you three options, and you guys can vote for the one that you think will be best for yourself, not for the general. Like if I let you vote, then you always think about how is this brand going to work for me? Like, is will that collection work for my style? Let me see what else I have. What else do you guys have? Like, I think sooner or later I need to get this stream yard so that I can get more people. I can get people in and ask me questions and talk to me. Talking to myself is so weird. Any questions for me? I want to answer questions. As I said, Met Gala, May. Um, there will be another open call coming up very, very soon. Once the voting starts, vote Patreon vote on Friday. I will announce the topic next Monday. and then the following it will open to the entire public. Um, I also find that I might actually minimize the time as well because no matter how many weeks I give you, I probably get similar amount of entries. So I might just give you guys 1 week to work on it. I don't know yet. I'm still thinking about like how many weeks to let you guys work on the illustrations because I know that a lot of artists like to wait until last minute to do it. So no matter if I tell you that deadline is 7 days later, they will probably work on the fifth day. If I tell you the deadline is 14 days later, they will probably work on the 12th day. So I don't really see a big difference unless you think there's a big difference. You type the message here right now, so that will determine how long I should give this open call the time frame. I see people here, but then no one has any questions. 2 weeks is good. Okay, I can put that as the minimum so that if you guys if the public has 2 weeks, then that means that Patreon members will have 3 weeks. Um, I think that will be good. Yeah, 2 weeks sounds good. Okay, I will do 2 weeks then. And what about and then I love the topic that maybe we can mix a clothing brand and jewelry brand together. And here's another question I can ask you guys if you know any good fashion brands like you have connection with or your local brands you think there's potential for the community to like draw, let me know because I think at one point we are not I don't really just want to focus on big brands like um Prada, Gucci, Dior, Chanel, but I also want to give our job is to use artworks to give local brands or some small designers more exposure. So if you can think about what brands that you know that might work for open calls, let me know as well. Then I can do something really cool. And if you're in the Patreon group, you can also let me know too. Maybe instead of doing a runway sketch session, we can have models like we can see if we can work with a designer and have someone dress in those outfits and do some sketching. So um, you guys can decide what to do. And the other questions, like I will stay here for 5 more minutes. So it's time to fire your questions if you have any. I saw some new people just join, so um, I can answer any questions you guys want as well. And I'm sorry that I messed up the link just now, so I know some people couldn't tune in. Yep. Anyone? I only see basically I saw probably like 6 or 7 people here, but then I keep seeing only 2 people typing messages. So I want to make sure you guys are getting the max info from me. Don't be afraid to ask questions because being shy is not going to get you far in this industry. When you have a resource here, you should use them as much as possible. No, there's no question. You guys are not letting me talk. You guys have no questions, then I'm just gonna end here. Like I will give you okay, let's say I give you 3 more minutes. If the chat room has any messages, then I will answer. If not, or if you have nothing, you say you're good, then you can also tell me that I have no questions right now. Then I can end a little bit earlier. Nope, I have no message here. Nope, it's an hour. I still don't see anything here. Let me just check some of the stuff before I go. Shamak, do you think open calls are important to the? Oh, there you are. Open calls are basically for people to practice, to actually explore their skills and to push their limit because this is a time for them to try something new. And I have seen a lot of artists doing that. Uh, but unfortunately, for the past few open calls, I feel like a lot of illustrators forgot about that and just give me the same stuff. And it's not it's not helping them to moving forward. So um I would say continue. They need to continue to like draw. My job for open call is for you to practice to create something for your portfolio, and exposure is a bonus. If I can connect to a brand, then yes, you will get the right exposure. But if not, you should still treat this as a challenge, a job for yourself, and say, okay, I need to create this illustration. This is the guideline that I need to follow. How can I make it really interesting and capture the client's attention? That's something that I think you guys should be doing. Uh, my job every time when I give you the open call, you can treat me as a client, and because it's just like every other jobs. When I say, oh, I'm gonna hire an artist to do stuff, pitch me. This is the time for you to pitch me and show me what you can do. And if you give me mediocre stuff, then try again next time. But you continue to give me mediocre stuff, that means that you might not be serious about doing fashion illustration. So if that's the case, I would consider you to actually do some other things. And Shamak, congratulations on the Bulgari campaign. That was so awesome. Would you consider open call with mediums such as only use Procreate, for example? I thought about it, and I have to turn this idea down because I do have artists who only love to create who only use traditional medium to create works. So I can't just limit to that. I If I do that, I feel like I'm going to leave out a lot of artists. So I just want to make sure that this is equal playground for everyone. Oh, and speaking of traditional medium, when you do an open call, when you submit your illustration using traditional medium, very, very important. This is very important. There was, which I'm going to tell you next what happened. Make sure that you scan your illustration and you edit it using, like, I don't care if you use Photoshop or you use your phone app to edit it to make sure that the white balance is correct, the color is correct. There was a really, really, really good submission from the Jack Moose. I know that is traditional medium, but the scanning quality was so off. So I couldn't choose that as one of the final nines. So, lesson to learn, please make sure you scan your work and to make it a professional piece. You are not going to put a mediocre scan illustration on your website. There's no way people will actually pick your work. So that's a big tip for you, for whoever's watching this right now. Any more questions, Shamak? Like I can't bring you up because this is YouTube, but I do want you to ask me questions because you you work with a lot of brands as well. So, and I'm sure that you're a good supporter, and I know your question is equal to the question a lot of people want to ask. Or has he left? Has he left? Still nothing. Still. Well, if you guys have no questions, then I'm just gonna go off. Um, you're here. You have any questions? Do you have any more questions, or anyone has any questions? Writing the question. Okay, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait because Shamak questions are usually insightful, and it's gonna benefit the artists in the group. So I'm just gonna write. I'm thinking what other brands we can work with because I really want to work with some brands on some fun open calls. And I'm still waiting for Shamak. Do you think we should pitch to brand or just wait for them to reach out? Do not wait for them to reach out. Please do not wait for them to reach out. If you know a connection, talk to them. Talk to them and say, hey, I'm an illustrator. This is my portfolio. Take a look. Think about if there's any campaign that can use an illustrator. If you're lucky, sure, they will approach you, but don't be shy. Don't be shy on this because you being shy, you're going to lose your opportunity. Maybe just because you send out the email, they decide to switch gear and use you as an illustrator than the other artist. So, how to reach the best the best way to do is to talk to them, talk to their social media people, and see if they can give you the email to the marketing person. And then afterwards, make sure that you have a nice PDF file of your portfolio or a website to your portfolio. If it's a PDF file, no more than 10 pages. If you have more than 10 pages, I can tell you that I get bored and I will throw it away right away. In your website, have an about section, show your best work. Don't show 10,000 of your work. It's still telling them what your strength is. And then just in the email, just say, hey, my name is blah, blah, blah. Write why you want to work with the brand. Show the link, and then just say, and then you probably might not hear from them right away, but you can just say if you have any projects that may need an illustrator, please don't hesitate to contact me if it fits your style. Some PRs are really, really good, or some marketing people are really good. They will send you a reply, say, okay, I'm going to put you on file so that if we know any good people, good jobs, like good campaigns, we can commission you to work. Uh, but don't but don't just wait. You need to market yourself. You can't be shy. You can't just use and quite frankly, it's not magic. You won't be able to get the brand's attention when you just post stories and keep tagging them. They are so many people tagging them. So you need to actually find the right person to actually talk to them about possible wanting to work with them. And instead of approaching the headquarters, the easier way for you to do is to approach the people on the store level. So if you have a Gucci store in your city, see if you know anyone work there and see if they can connect you to a store manager. And because when they have when they have special events, they might need an illustrator for different purposes. Talk to them, send them your portfolio and tell them that what you can do. Can you okay, three options. Can you do live sketch? Can you decorate fragrance bottles? Can you customize handbags? If you can do all three, you're good. If not, try to specialize in one of them. Live sketch is probably the best way to do. Handbags, you need to show examples. So you might have to ruin a bunch of leather bags before you can have a good portfolio for that. For fragrance bottle, that should be easy as well. Ask your friends if they have any bottles they don't need. Just send them to you so you can decorate them. So this is a really big tip. It's like when you say, so I will tell you that when I see people keep saying that their clients include uh, Burberry, Chanel, Dior, it's not really the headquarters. It's just the stores. So you should focus on that. Like if you see people have a large resume on working on those stores, you're like, why they need to work? Why can they work with those brands? Because they probably approach the stores and they get the store gigs. So then they can put um, the brands on their portfolio. Please do a live here selecting the winners for the open call. Um, hmm, that's interesting. But the thing is, artists don't like to like artists actually don't like to tune in to YouTube or Instagram live, or they don't like to ask questions. So, should I really do it? Like, Shamak, are you going to be the cheerleader and then just tell everyone to join? um, I can do it. Uh, may maybe not the winners, but I can maybe do. I know what I can do. I can announce the open call topic on YouTube Live, and for your chance to actually ask me questions and to be clear of what you guys should be illustrating or submitting. Will that be better? Will that work? Do you think this is a good idea? Because winners, I do have 9. If I show them all at once, then it will actually kill the suspense. Like I don't feel like people will want to check out my Instagram account after. But if I tell you that one day before I announce the illustration topic, I will actually do an Instagram live and tell you the topic, and you guys can ask me any questions. I think that will actually work better. Is the cheat sheets, because last time people who joined the YouTube live asked me questions and they did a pretty good job with the submissions. Um and because again, I don't think people actually I actually don't think people read instructions on the open call page. So yeah, I think if I do it live like this and tell people this is the brand, you guys need to do it. I think that would be really really good. Yeah, this I will give you tips on every single open call. Basically, I can tell you that I give you tips on the open call page every single time. But again, artists tend to live in their little own world. So I can't really I can't really stop that. Maybe some hints instead. I have already actually okay. I will give you a little tip. I'll give you a little hint here for the next open call. Which I actually need to go back to my Patreon and see what I know. I forgot the the last brand. Give me 1 second. I am going to look at it right now. Okay. So the next open call, which will not happen until, let me just look at it. Not the 5th. Until May 2nd. There will be 3 options for the Patreon group to choose. All from the spring and summer 2022. This is actually going to be a good one because I actually don't know who will win. The three options are Alexander McQueen, Givenchy, and Gucci. So one of them will become the open call topic. And it really depends on what the Patreon members want. If you're reading this, you're watching this, perhaps you can do a little research on those three collections. No guarantee which one is going to be a winner because right now with the Jacquemus one, I am still waiting for someone to vote for the winner because I think there is still a tie right now. Let me see if this is still happening. Yes, I still have a tie here. Shamak, can you actually go to the Patreon page and vote if you haven't done so? Please, please. I need a winner here. And the winner will actually get a 30-minute Zoom call with me, one-on-one. Ask me about anything fashion illustration related, so I can actually review your portfolio, help you with it. So, if you're in the Patreon group, you haven't voted, please make sure you go. It's so weird that basically everyone has an equal vote right now, and I'm just like, can that even happen? So now you know that the three topics that will be coming up for the next open call. So do some research. If you know anyone in the Patreon group, you can message them. It's like, can you vote for this? The voting won't start until Friday, and if you're watching this, you're a Patreon member, I will also tell you to do some research and see which collection works best for you. Um, Two brands are pretty similar. The third brand, Givenchy, it's a little bit more street style and interesting. So it's really up to you guys. I have a good feeling it's going to be between McQueen and Gucci, but you guys surprise me all the time. Like I wouldn't expect you guys want me to choose to do Jack Moose as the open call topic. So I am here for the surprise. Do get if we do get a tie, I might consider doing two brands together. So that will be a really really fun surprise. So with that being said, any questions? There will be a video coming out next week also, and it will be another 5 accounts that I want you guys to check out. I will give you another like tip. It's going to be on watercolor artists. And then the following week, I will have a YouTube video on. This is a video that I would love you guys to share because it's very important. Is how to work with illustrators. Brands, companies, they don't really know how to work with illustrators, and I have list 5 points for them to actually understand how you guys work. Um, this is based on my experience, and I feel like if people don't know how to work with illustrators, you guys will never do a good job, and you guys will probably like do you guys will probably upset after the projects, which happened to some of from some of my illustrators. So, if you guys are good, then I'm gonna leave. Shamak, do you have extra like questions you want to ask me before I leave? I'm waiting. Like I can talk forever, but if you guys have no questions, then I will just leave and let you guys take a break. And you guys can rewatch this video. I will make sure that this will replay. Like you can check it out. Um, there are a lot of really interesting. There's some really interesting insight from this chat, like live, especially when Shamak asked me some really cool good questions at the end as well. Um, if not, then I am gonna go. Well, thanks for watching. We will do it again next month. I hope that I won't screw up the link again. And if you have any questions, you can DM me so that I can actually collect the questions for the next Q&A. That being said, I will see you guys later. Bye.